To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Lockhart perspective. Helping you along the way. Helping you to make it through another day. Yeah. Everything you need to know that you never knew, that you need to know. Lockhart perspective.
Well, hello, good morning. As you guys can see on the screen there, about 13, maybe 15 minutes ago, apparently they have executed a warrant at Judy, at Rudy Giuliani's property. And there's a few stories here that I think would bear some type of credence. I mean, some good information. I ain't paying for none of it. I'm about to get like Monograph. I'm not paying for none of it, but I will definitely go on ahead and get into the story. I felt like this was going to happen. I really honestly did. I didn't know when, but I do know that after everything that went on this past year, it it was going to happen. But here's the funny thing. In my gut, I felt like he was playing two ends to the middle all along. I really did. I felt like he was playing two ends to the middle. I felt like he wasn't to be trusted. Good morning, Steve. How are you? And so let's just read this together. It says federal agents carried out a search warrant at the home and office of former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani this morning. Sources familiar with the matter confirmed to ABC News. All right, let's see here. The warrant was in relation to the ongoing probe led by the federal prosecutors from the Southern District of New York regarding Giuliani's alleged lobbying efforts abroad during the Trump presidency, and a key focus of the first impeachment case against Trump. Now, the sources tell ABC News that Giuliani's electronic devices, including his cell phones, were confiscated by the authorities, and a spokesperson and attorney for Giuliani did not respond to a request for the comments. So this story is developing, but it is something to mull over in your head, because, like I said, I sort of didn't trust the whole situation with him last time. I thought that he was playing two ends to the middle. And the danger with that is that if you're a traitor, then they're going to get you on both sides. I'll just say that. So it says that a spokesman for Giuliani did not respond to a request for a comment from ABC News. Now, more, it has here that Giuliani is being investigated by the state bar, the New York State Bar Association. The officials with the FBI and the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York also declined a statement with regards to our original story. But because I'm like Mrs. Kravitz right now, completely nosy, I want to click this blue little hyperlink and see what else it gives us. Let's see where that takes us. Okay, so this is something that was already happening. It looks like here, this story was already cooking or in the mix. Let's see. I know you guys have probably already seen this, cooking or in the mix, possibly as early as December, maybe even sooner than that, because it says that the story was in the month of January that this was posted. So keeping all that in mind, you've got to know. Yeah, there it is. There we go. All right. So yeah, it's it's like everything is coming down on this guy all at once. Rudy Giuliani is being investigated by the New York State Bar Association, which I'm sure that everybody already knew that. But the deal is that, yeah, here's the deal. All of them are in stuff together, and then they will allow one guy to be the fall guy. You know what I mean? they will allow one guy to be the fall guy, is what they will do. It's like everybody will throw everybody. Yes, it should have, Sandy Aaron. I so agree with you, soul sister. Yes, it should have. But it's like they'll all sort of, convene upon the meat that's in the middle of the yard, and they'll convene on it like a pack of wild jackal. Everybody. They'll all just start to tear the meat apart, and then all of a sudden they'll throw somebody away. And this is what looks like is going on right now. So, yes, he has been, his house has been basically raided, is basically what that is. Whenever they say in a very nice way, see, in the hood, we like, oh, yeah, they kicked the dough in, or, oh, they got him, or they kicked, or something happened. But yeah, so in this case, very nice, eloquent words. They served a warrant at his house. Now, because the story is developing, that means that throughout the day, of course, we all know they're going to have more and more and more to add on to the story. But I'm not surprised that this happened. Are any of you surprised? I'm not surprised. Not surprised at all. I wouldn't be shocked if there was more stuff going on. Now, in another story, I wanted to ask everybody if anybody had seen all of these stories surrounding the all the situation going on with the PPP loans. Did anybody see what's going on with a lot of these folks that ran out here, having my coffee, that ran out here and got the PPP money? I don't know whether you guys saw all of that, but there's a whole lot of folk that's going to be lining or fleecing the police halls and then into the jail cells, because a lot of individuals have been lured into these get rich quick schemes. Now, some have gotten into it by accident, some have gotten into it on purpose. And then there are some stories that I'm sort of wondering how these folks actually did anything wrong. Case in point, there's a young man who owns a roofing company out in Florida. It appears that not only did he take the first set of money that he got, but let me see if I can get that for you, because Justine says she didn't get it. Let me see if I can find it here for you. But just having a conversation with you guys. I hope that's okay. Nothing very formal today. Just, very relaxed. But yeah. So what this cat did is apparently owned a roofing company in Florida. And he apparently took the monies that he had and he paid the funds. He paid what he was supposed to pay to his employees. And after he took the money from the government and paid them what he was supposed to do with the money, it's stated by his attorney that what he ended up doing also was that he went in and he put in extra money from his company. Well, apparently this guy can do up to 50 years or more now for the PPP loan fraud. But after I listened to every one of the bullet points that his attorney stood outside and said while she was speaking to a group of reporters last night, I was a little shocked at best, because I was like, well, gee whiz, what was he supposed to do? Let's look at this. Let's look at it. I'm going to pull the story up. It's a whole bunch of stories down because I was sitting here bored last night and I started thumbing through other news, which I rarely do. But this was amazing to me. All right, let's see. Here we are. Yeah, this I can't say poor kid, but he just looks like, he looks like just anybody else's kid. Hold on a second here. Let me pause it. He looked like a really nice young man trying to do a good job, trying to take care of his family, is what he appeared to be. I did not hear anything concrete in the story that let me see that he had done something wrong. Do you feel me? I don't know. Maybe you guys will hear it.
Left wondering what that means for paid projects and warranties. The owner of Target Roofing misused COVID relief money and will be sentenced in exactly.
But they don't tell us how he
misused it. Reporter
it.
Anika Henniger is live in the studio. And Anika, Target Roofing employs a few hundred people. What does this mean for the people who work there?
Casey Crowther told me over the phone every one of his 200 plus employees is good. They have families and their jobs are secure. Same thing for his customers and would-be customers. Don't worry. Big promises for a man who faces 30, 50, and if he gets the max, more than 100 years in prison.
The jury has spoken. Casey Crowther, owner of Target Roofing and Sheet Metal, is guilty as charged.
Business here. Anything to say to your customers? How you took the money?
Now his customers have questions.
You know, Casey Crowther is the owner, but what's going to happen to all the little people?
Jim Ryder told me Target
No.
Roofing did the roof on his condo. Is the warranty good if Crowther goes to prison?
Concerned that, you know, if something does happen to our roofs, we're going to have to pay up again. And a lot of people here cannot afford it.
So I called Crowther and he agreed to answer questions, but not about his criminal case. He told me his customers have nothing to worry about. They're in great shape, he said. It's a large company. That trial was for one person, and that was me, and not them. They'll be in good shape and in good hands. Crowther told us Target Roofing will operate as usual, and the company will stay in his name.
Even if he's in jail, he can own a company and it can operate.
So any warranty or guarantee in the contract that's signed by Target Roofing is still active as long as the company is.
And Crowther told me his workers will be good too. Crowther said, for me, the employees are the important part, as they were before and as they are now. I can't just give up on 200 families. That's just not fair. Crowther told me his customers should trust Target Roofing because of his employees. If you are a customer, the lawyers in my story say you should review your contracts, and if you have any issues, get them taken care of now. Crowther goes before a judge for sentencing at the end of June. Chris?
We wanted to let everyone know that Target Roofing did receive approximately $2 million.
All right, I'm not going to go into much more of their news story, but I did pull up a story here. You know what? Something tells me this guy is a conservative. I don't know why I feel like that, but it's something in my gut that just tells me that. And I could be so wrong. It's not like the Spirit of the Father is telling me this. I'm just letting you know that something just doesn't seem to add up to me, my personal opinion. But it does go on to say here that the Fort Myers Roofing Company owner, which is Mr. Crowther that we see here on the screen, trying to make sure that you guys have a good sight of it because you don't have the copy in front of you. I just want to make sure you can see it. So let me fiddle faddle with it. Remember fiddle faddle? Okay, I remember fiddle faddle. All right, here we go. What the world is this? That's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Okay, cool. All right, so Fort Myers Roofing Company owner Casey Crowther took the federal government to task on social media for indicting him on multiple charges linked to the federal COVID-19 relief program. He says, quote, "Lost my Sixth Amendment right today," Crowther posted on Facebook. "The right to a speedy trial. The judge and prosecutor are worried about COVID and don't know when they will be available for trial. We've been ready for months. I want to stand on the tallest mountain and scream the truth that the media conveniently leaves out," he says. The comments came on the heels of the hearing Monday on Crowther's case in federal court. Now, the date of the story that we are reading is December 18th of 2020. It is the Fort Myers News Press that published the story. So again, the comments come on the heels of a hearing on Monday in Crowther's case in federal court. Crowther, 35, of North Myers and the president of Target Roofing, pleaded not guilty on the indictment in October, which accuses him of 7 counts, including bank fraud, making a false statement, and lending to a lending institution, and illegally illegal monetary transactions. Okay, Crowther has filed to dismiss a part of the indictment claiming that the government misunderstands and misapplied regulations in that act that guides the funds. He says, quote, "I thought our judicial system would allow me to do that in a trial, but that was taken away," Crowther continued on Facebook. "How can a judge and a prosecuting attorney not understand what they're doing to the 200 plus employees of Target Roofing and my family? Let us have our day. If this isn't criminal, I don't know what is. How can they bring charges and then sit on them? Should have thought about that before they brought the charges, he says. He was accused of falsely acquiring $2 million in the COVID relief funds. He was arrested and charged on September the 2nd, and he was released on a $100,000 bond on the 3rd. I don't know. I wish that I lived out there because I mean, you'd probably see more things about him publicly. Like, what was his yard? What did his yard look like during the elections? What was his leaning on his Facebook page? That's what I'd look at. I want to see what his leaning was, his personal Facebook page. So anyway, it goes on to say that a federal grand jury had previously indicted Crowther, alleging that he had some COVID-19 relief fraud. On September 23rd, a superseding indictment contained additional counts charging Crowther with mortgage fraud. Yeah, somebody after this fella. Okay, somebody's after him. Crowther could not be reached for a comment during this time or confirm that he was the one who posted the Facebook remarks, and the remarks were later removed from his page. His attorney, Nicole H. Wade, which was obviously the lady we just saw, responded to an email request for comment. She says that we're advising Mr. Crowther against an interview at this time, and we're waiting for the judge to rule on our motion to dismiss the superseding indictment. We filed a reply to the government's position this weekend that could be helpful. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think in the chat. Based on what we're reading, do you guys think this guy could be a target of some kind? It sure feels like that to me. Yeah, Fiddle Faddle. Anybody remember Fiddle Faddle? Let's see what you guys are saying. I was up late last night, early this morning, going through and reading listening to all these little things. And I really didn't do a lot of reading. I read some earlier in the evening after we got off that last live. That was a humdinger, which is right now only available for members because in one of the audios that we did 2 days ago, I have on my computer, bless God, there is remember what we said last night about God. You guys know what I mean. But last night, I'm Southern. There's certain things I'm just going to say, right? Okay, so last night when we were live, we had a little bit of a humdinger. And then the other day, we put a story out, but that story had some music to it. Now, on my computer, I have a Microsoft setting that gives you the ability to make new videos. So I don't have to make them with my cell phone anymore. So I've been having a great time making them on the computer. Well, apparently there is no notice when you make it with some music, because we got a copyright strike. That's where I'm headed. When you make it with music that's on the actual computer from Microsoft, it doesn't give you the opportunity to cut and paste any of the information for the music. So like on my cell phone app that I used to use when I was making the videos, which the majority of all of my videos that you see were made on a cell phone until it began to crash. And then my little computer that I was using crashed. I had 2 laptops. Those both died. So with that said, now I have a great opportunity to make these videos, which is what I've been making. Well, we got a copyright strike last night. While we finished one of the shows that we did the other night or the other day, is gone because we made it for members only. We made it for members only because Microsoft's company came back and said, hey, we want all the monetization for this video that Felicia Lockhart did because she didn't give us credit and didn't ask or didn't use the music with permission. But that's not what I did. The fact is, you have the music here to use with all of the other stuff inside of this video thing that's on the computer. And you don't give us opportunity. I thought that it was just free, which it was free. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to say? What I'm trying to say is, there was the opportunity to make a video. I made the video. I used their music. I lost one person. I'm sorry. I was dragging on. Anyway, there was an opportunity to make the video. I made the video. I used their everything they had, and then they hit me for a copyright strike. And that came from none other than YouTube. So the video is now members only. All right. So now, what do you guys think about this guy? Do you all think that this guy is actually a pawn? I think he may have some leanings that go a little to the right, is what I think. Good morning, my big brother. How are you? Anarchy. Hey, should have happened. I love that, Sandy. That's so true. Good morning, love in the midst. Justine DeVoe. Hello. Good morning. Millie J. O'Neill. Thanks for this report. Yeah. Can you believe it though? I can't believe it. The Bar Association. Yeah, I have to agree. You got to be right there. Dan. Hey, good morning. Okay. So, but now what do you think about that story? Okay. Yeah, but now we know what the PPE part stands for. The whole government is, yes, it is. Yeah. Yeah. So I just think this guy, you guys, I think this guy is I think he's sort of conservative. And I'm saying that because, there are very bitter people that will go back and start to bug people from like 4 years ago. And that stuff started happening just recently. And so when I look at this guy, he just reminds me of just a good old American kid, just a good guy out there trying to have a business. But the fact that his attorney stated, hey, wait a minute, we did everything we were supposed to do. Plus, more money came out of our pocket than what we got from there because he has 200 employees. And if you guys know anything about roofing, construction, or anything like that, that is a very expensive workforce to pay. It is. Sips coffee. So, keeping that in mind, he's not paying them pennies. He's paying these people, possibly pretty well. And I don't think a lot of people know. I think there are a lot of you that are here that are small business owners, but it costs a lot more to take care of an employee than people could ever think. And if this guy's putting up 1.5 million of his own money, plus the 2 million that they state he took from or got from or received from the government, then something tells me he's doing what he's supposed to do. But I don't know the particulars, and I really don't think I want to read them because I think it's going to make me mad. I really do. I think it's going to make me a little upset if I get to reading and I find out that this cat was pretty much railroaded. And I think a lot of that is going on right now. I think there's a lot of folks out there that's doing it wrong. Ooh, let me show you some bonquishas. Let me show you some folks from both. So we going to look here. If we going to hit on one side of the fence, I'm messy today. I'm sorry. We got to hit on both sides of the fence. So let me go. I got to show you guys somebody else too that actually has this as an issue right now. I mean, but it's not like they went out and did something good with it. They went out and just man, oh man, I don't know what's going on with people's mindset that they would actually think that it's okay to go out and do all the stuff that they're doing right now with regards to taking off with the money. I don't know why they think that this is okay. Clearly, this is not a good thing, but apparently everybody is doing it. As soon as I read through all of these questions, I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to show you guys some stories that I find quite unique to the Black community. But I have to say that because it's my community and I can say it. So there's that. All right. So it's an all-out war on small businesses. And they don't want anyone to be able to dodge the passports. Okay. All right. I see that, Sarah. Wow. No, it doesn't, does it? He would have, if he had just run over somebody on the highway, he probably would have gotten 10 years. That's terrible. And I hate to say it like that, but we don't have balance. There's no balance anymore. The balance is all gone. It's just, it's out the window. Okay. So Anarchy Television says some of the ways to make America great again is to eliminate the Federal Reserve and the IRS, liquidating the debt, also dismantling the in a wonderful world, right? Good morning, Melinda Ann. It's so good to see you. Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while, but it's great to see you. Yes, I agree with him, Sarah Brown. Yeah, can you believe that? But can you believe the 100 years? That's the amazing part. Yeah, the love of money is the root of all evils. Yes, the love of money. Yes, he sounds like an honest and caring person, doesn't he, though? That's what I'm saying. I don't get it. I do not get it. Man, this coffee tastes like boot camp coffee, just the way I like it. Nice and strong today. Okay. Yes, fiddle faddle. And then most of the people arrested yes, I know. You know, they let the guy out who just bonded out, Sarah Brown, um, for putting his feet up on the speaker's desk. Yeah, he just got out, or he's getting out. I can show you that story too. Let's see, candy bar fraud. You know, this whole thing is a mess because I'm looking like, how do we give our money to Pakistan for transgender stuff to study it? And here we're getting Americans for maybe not filling it out correctly, or hiring an attorney to fill out their paperwork, or hiring their accountant to fill it out. And maybe they missed a I when they should have put an E or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't get it. And I just sat back last night and scratched my head. I was like, this is sort of depressing that we're even reading these stories or seeing these stories in the news when we all know that boatloads of our money went over the water. It just, I can't help but say it. Hey, I just can't help it. It's like a lot of our money went over the water for things that we don't even agree with, and it was dealing with COVID, and these countries have their own governments, and we're funding them. But now we have somebody who may have dotted an I, a little too late, or didn't cross the T when he should have. And now we're hearing these stories that are coming out with the guy that, I mean, he looks pretty solid. Anytime you can have a business owner very confident, hopefully these things go his way, and say, hey, look, my people are going to be fine. My employees are going to be fine. I've got great workers here. They're all going to do their job. Everything's going to be good. Hopefully that's not just a lot of talking, but I don't see him as being somebody who is a loose cannon. I think that he ticked somebody off is what I think. I think maybe he was pretty vocal, and there's somebody out there that, that wants to get at him. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, I don't blame you because, it's not cool because they're after everybody. They really are. And I'm like, good night, Irene. Roofing and construction work is hard. Yes, it is. Yes. Yes. And they do take good care of them. When you got really good companies, I worked for a trucking company. It was actually more of it was a demolition company several years ago. And the owner was from Louisiana, and he was a hardworking man. When I tell you this cat could get on, he was the president and the CEO, but this cat could get on any piece of equipment and work it. So he had compassion for all the workers. When I say he would be running a crusher one day, another day he'd be, rolling around on those little bitty what are those things? There's like a little, I forgot what they're called. Anyway, he could drive a truck. He could do anything. He could do all that stuff. Any piece of equipment his workers could use, he could work it as well, and did. Still had dirty hands, still had, fuzz under the nails because of working all day. But then he would also clean up, and he and his wife would go out and look pretty neat and dapper. My point, this man made sure his people got paid no matter what he had to do. If he had, if he had gotten money and, or something happened and something was really going bad or whatever, he would make sure that as soon as he would get a draw on another job, he would pay his people for this job. You know what I mean? I mean, it wouldn't matter. If he got a draw on another job, he would take that draw and pay the people on this job, even if this existing company and he were having troubles. What I'm saying is people like that are folks who really are down to earth. They may become millionaires, but the majority of them that I know, okay, and I know some pretty big guys in Atlanta and the Southeast that do construction and demolition and all of that stuff. The Price brothers who handle, a whole bunch of stuff, little implosion things. But my point is, these guys love their people. This man looks like somebody who loves his employees and cares about them. That's why I'm thinking this guy just may not be what they're painting him out to be. And so my deep thoughts will be that things work out well for him. That's what I hope. I hope things work out well for him. And if there was a little mistake that he made, I would believe that, they would say, hey, wait a minute, this is where you messed up right here. Well, let's rectify this. Let you pay a fine for this that you made a mistake for, and then let's move forward. Why can't we do that? Because I'm looking at all of our money go across the water, and these countries have nothing to do with us. They have nothing to do with our situation. They have nothing to do with us at all. So my question is, why aren't we able to do that when we got folks that we already know here who have done major things. I can't even say it, but y'all know what I'm talking about. So listen, it says that there was a 5-page motion that claims that the government's fraud case is premised on the government's misunderstanding and misapplication of the regulations that govern the act. Here's the truth. They were not, oh goodness, there's everything right there. The defendant's reply right there. But here's the deal. They were still trying to figure this thing out for a while. Do you guys remember that? They were still trying to figure it out for a while. For 1 minute, they were trying to figure it all out. They couldn't figure out if they wanted to let you pay it back. And then they said, okay, you don't have to pay it back. And then they said, okay, yeah, you don't have to pay it back. But then the banks could not figure out how to give a person a loan that had a start date and then no date to pay back for that 10,000. There was a whole bunch of confusion. They were figuring out all of this stuff as they went along. How can you then at the same time have any rules or regulations that you say a person broke if you never really had any concrete way of gauging it from Jump Street? That's just a question. I don't know how that could be. What made me think of the Capitol people was when he said the Sixth Amendment was violated. That happened a lot. No speedy trial. You know what? We just really have to keep our minds so focused on our Father right now that this stuff here is just, that's why I'm saying it's amazing. But do you see how if we get caught up in this, we could be like, oh my gosh, we would constantly be tripping on this kind of stuff all day long. I mean, from Rudy Giuliani, to be honest, for him, for example, to even be in the trouble that he's in right now, I think we all expected it. But I also think that in that network of friends, they've got that one guy that'll be a fall guy this season. You know what I'm saying? It's like this guy will be the fall guy this season, and he's ready for it. Does that make sense? He's ready for it. This season, he's the fall guy, and he's ready for it. He already knows. You know, I think that's what that is in there. And then you've got, but my problem with this whole entire situation with the PPP stuff, we got the fall guy who is Rudy this season. But then the very regular people that are being marred, I think, are being chased because they are Republican or because they are conservative. And I believe it's going to get a lot worse before it gets any better. But let me show you the other side of the fence. Remember, I told y'all I was going to show you the other side of the fence. Hold on a second. Let me get it for you. Let me retch around and get it for you. Because this right here is a hot mess. All right, let's see. Gee willikers, y'all. Okay, here we go. Oh, okay. You hear me scrolling? Yeah, so I got a ding. And I don't think it's nice. I don't feel like playing their stuff because I already know how they're gonna be. That's it's gonna be on the Breakfast Club. Hold on, let me give you guys this here and let you see it. You can scroll with me. I'll let you guys scroll with me. How about that? You guys can scroll with me. All right. And you know what? A lot of these PPP things are happening in the state of Florida. I mean, major. Hey, how about looking at this one? Okay, yeah, we'll look at this one because this one's not attached to any content creator here on the channel. It is specifically for news, specifically for information like that. So let's look at this one. I'm gonna let you guys see this story. All right, right there. All right, can you guys see that? Let's go.
The company had few or no employees other than Sisternino and his girlfriend. According to the indictment, in April 2020, the Bradenton man submitted a fraudulent PPP loan application, including false supporting documents and bank statements. The application says the company had more than 400 employees. Charging documents indicate of the $7.2 million the couple received, more than $3 million of it went to this mansion. Property records show Sisternino and his girlfriend purchased the home in July 2020. The 12-acre estate boasts a British-style pub theater, 7 bedrooms, a tennis court, and a 5-stall horse barn. Investigators say
now that's straight up fraud
with PPP loan money. The grand jury indictment also claims a trail of evidence reveals Sisternino spent thousands of dollars on pricey vehicles like a Maserati, Lincoln Navigator, and a Mercedes-Benz, all in a span of months in 2020. And Sistonino has been indicted on 2 counts of wire fraud, 3 counts of aggravated identity theft, and 3 counts of illegal monetary transaction. Louis, I'll send it back to you.
You know what they say, karma never forgets an address. All right, thank you, Calvin.
Okay, so you see. Okay, now here goes another one, pocketing. Let's see what they got to say.
As many small businesses struggled, money meant
Can you
to
guys
save
hear
them
this?
went to luxury goods. According to federal complaints, that includes a Minnesota man who took money for manufacturing payroll and went golfing, a New Jersey attorney who got $9 million for fake businesses and remodeled his home,
An
an Atlanta
attorney.
reality star who spent $2 million on a Rolls Royce and a Rolex watch, and a former NFL player who allegedly joined a scheme to get $24 million in federal funds. They all deny the government's charges. The Justice Department so far has charged more than 50 defendants for attempting to steal over $175 million from the Paycheck
Ooh, good
Protection
Lord.
Program. U.S. Secret Service has opened some 700 investigations into CARES Act fraud.
Which programs?
So it's a
are
lot
you
of
seeing
fraud.
getting
I got to
exploited
interject
by
every few
criminals the
seconds.
most?
We see the payroll protection program and then the emergency injury disaster loan program also, which includes both loans and an advance or a grant.
These grants, up to $10,000 in upfront cash, require even less information than PPP loans. All you needed was basic information about your business and the bank account for the money to be deposited.
You didn't even have to be a very smart criminal to try to defraud this system. People were doing things like filling in the application with the names of Game of Thrones characters.
The Small Business Administration, which ran
Well,
the
that makes
program,
y'all
later
stupid.
asked the banks to freeze accounts that received this money until they could verify the owner had a qualifying business. 6 banks reported nearly 4,000 cases of suspected fraud.
They should know.
Among those cases, some of their own employees. Wells Fargo has since terminated 100 people. JP Morgan says it identified some of its employees who unlawfully took this money, but declined to say how many.
Yeah, they
For
learned
the
from them.
news, I'm Kayla Tausche in Washington.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.
And that was from their channel. So, I mean, we could go on and on and on, and all of these things are being used to share this information. But I'll just be honest with you. It's rampant. And the funny, it's almost like the pot. Listen, by me saying these things, it sounds like I'm condoning it. I'm not in any way, shape, or form condoning any of this stuff. My thing is, it just looked like the pot calling the kettle black. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is it just looks like the pot, like, ooh, I'm gonna tell, you ate the pie and they got a whole mouthful of pie. They got a handful of pie. They didn't even have a decency to go get a fork to eat the pie. Okay, mama made 2 pies. One is in the windowsill cooling down, and the other one is over there already ready. It's sitting on the rack, ready to be prepared for Sunday supper at the end of supper. Okay, and you got one kid that go in the kitchen and start digging out the one that's in the windowsill, and you got the other one that's already got their whole hand in the pie that's sitting on the rack, smashing it in their face. Oh, I'm gonna tell on you, but you did it too, dude. We all wrong in this. That's what they should be saying, but they not. And that's what gets me, is how they make sure that all of their news outlets stick this stuff out there, which again, it is such it's this line that I'm crossing right now is a very, very sticky one, because if you listen the wrong way, you would think that I'm trying to say I agree with the cats that's taking it. I'm not. That ain't what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, hey, pot, you might want to fix your own stuff. Okay. You might want to cure your own pot. Okay. Well, you got to take some Crisco, rub it on the inside of yourself, and cure your cast iron yourself inside the oven or outside on the grill or something. Pot, you might want to get yourself together. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. I mean, I'm listening to these stories and I'm like, wait a minute. Fraud, the word, they use that F word a whole lot. And I'm like, yo, you guys, do you see why I'm like, yeah, that's the reason why I got to stick to the word, because I tell you, if I don't, I could be a real messy force to be reckoned with on any platform. So let's go ahead and get into some more of the comments we've got here. I just hate to see our system of innocent until proven guilty, burden of proof, and due process be dismantled in this way. If you're guilty of a thought crime, you go to trial by media mob. Exactly. Tina Hardman says, hello. Well, what's really going on? Just got here. Much love to all. Much love to you as well. Shepherd. You know. Okay, Sarah, my head swam. Alrighty. Deuce. Much better now. Was in a car accident. Oh no. Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. I hope you feel better. I did not know that. You've been driving almost for 50 years. Hey, how are you doing there, old head Deuce? So good to see you. So how's Callie? How is Callie? I call in season the cast. Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Seasoning it. That's exactly what it is. Season it. Season and cure. That's what we do. Deuce real bruised up and shook up. Bless your heart, precious. You saw the accident that we had in our family. That was my husband's truck. If you go to the community tab, and it looks like the season of miracles, because that right there, that's amazing. Go to the community tab. It is not a members only post. I did it about a week or two ago, but that's an accident that I pulled up and he walked away from it. Yeah. And that old truck, it's an older truck. It was a Dodge Dakota. Okay. It was a Dodge Dakota. It was the SRT. They only made like 3,000 of those, and had the extended cab. The back was long. It was really nice. We had it for several years. And so we didn't have that full coverage thing on there, right? So they would only carry that liability, which is what makes you ticked. Insurance company, well, we don't encourage this, and so he got just what they said. Me, I would have been like, no, I want what I want. I'll pay extra. But the insurance laws are really weird. So with that said, yeah, that's gone. And you never, when you own your own vehicles or you've paid them off for several years, you sort of get used to just putting gas and doing maintenance. But now you got to have only just the. Anyway, my point is he walked away from that. I pulled up in the car that he now has because I can't get around, but he took off with it because he had to go to work. But my point is, I pull up and my sweet husband is standing there and the police are there, and I get out of the vehicle and I'm just immediately thanking our Father for his life, that he hasn't lost a limb. He's standing there looking sad, but he's standing there. Okay. And the vehicle was absolutely trashed. It is done. Frame damage, everything. It's done. Let me show that to you guys, and then we'll go back to the rest of these stories. It's good to just chill with you guys. I was really exhausted because we've been pushing the channel over the past few days because we had to make up some of that lost traction and hours from the hiatus they give me. From the hiatus they give me. All right, so here we are. Let's go. Let's see. All right, that's it. That's the vehicle. That pole is literally cracked. That pole is split. Actually, the pole was split that day, but yeah. The next day they fixed it. That they put a new one there. Okay. Yeah. Hey, Ronnie, how's it going? But you see that? And now let's look at the front. Yeah, this is totally gone. This right here was totally gone. But the whole front is messed up. But look, it hit right there. He was coming downhill. And as he was coming down the hill, that's it right there. We just took some better pictures. All the glass is gone out of the back. All the glass. Yeah, it was an RT. So all the glass is gone out of the back. The whole entire part here is completely gone. This vehicle is sideways now. It's literally like this part is here, this part is there. Well, we know that That's the front. That's the tree that he took out. He took out this landscaping for the poor city of Huntsville. He took out all of this, and this. I mean, this. I called this truck Kit. And remember, I gave you guys a description of how I love to hear Dodge or Mopar, but Dodge. They just make that. It purrs like a panther. It purred just oh, I loved it. But I love the sound of the vehicle. But my point is this was the vehicle, and so our Father in heaven blessed him, just like he blessed our sister Melinda Ann, that you are still here. It is the blessing and the miracle season, because to be honest with you, I don't see how, just like the police officer said, he did not see how he walked away. A vehicle pulled out. He was coming with the rest of the traffic down a hill, and as he was coming down the hill, it had just started to rain. The vehicle was sitting at a stop sign and jetted across the intersection to try to beat the oncoming traffic. The other vehicles moved, were able to go on, but this vehicle and my husband's vehicle made their crossing of the paths at the same point. My husband swerved to avoid the vehicle, but when he swerved, the speed of the vehicle plus the fact that he was going downhill tripled with the fact that it was just beginning to rain, made him swerve. He began to swerve. He fishtailed. He, twirled around a few times. After he twirled around a few times, that's the way he landed. And I told him, I said, man, oh man, the Father was with you. The Father, those angels was with you. I said, and on top of that, cool, you sure know how to drive, you country boy. That country boy, I praised the Father, but then I told him, I said, you's a bad dude. I said, cause look at how you came around there and did this. That wasn't nothing but the angels. But see, he drives for a living. That's what he does. He drives. And again, he's a country boy. And so, something different about these country boys. The country boys know how to do what they got to do. I'm telling you right now. And because that's all he does is drive, I just said, man, the Father had you, but I had to give you you did your thing. You did your thing. And so I was so happy that he made it. I just kept rubbing his head all night. I would rub his head and I would kiss his forehead. And I was like, oh, Father, I thank you. I just thank you. Oh, I wasn't in it. I wasn't in that. If I was in that, Robert, I'm going to tell you right now, I would have been no more good. Because we were in a vehicle one night where a vehicle almost sideswiped us coming off the highway, coming back from visiting home, and for about 5 miles, as loquacious as I am, I was very silent in the car because I was scared out of my mind, because of how we were on the highway. So no, sir, I wasn't in that. You say he was driving a tank. Baby, I like Dodge trucks. I like Dodge trucks. I like some of, if not most of, the older vehicles. The trucks were made better. You know what I mean? And I just like those. Yeah, it could have been way ugly. Yeah, it could. And I'm glad that Melinda is safe. I'm glad for all of us that have had some testimonies to tell, that we're all doing well, or that our family members are doing well, because we are hearing so many different situations, that there are people who are not doing well. And if it was not for the grace of our Father, who knows, where any of us would be, right? Who knows where any of us would be? Okay, so let's go here and let's check out where we were just now, because I do want to finish looking at this whole PPP thing. But let's see, before we do that, if there's anybody that's dealing with the Rudy Giuliani thing from another perspective. Yeah, here we go. Did anybody see him on Borat? That was funny. I was like, what did he think was about to happen? Did y'all see him on Borat, on that movie? Remember, the Borat movie was actually, oh wow, now they're saying that it's a part of the Ukraine probe. Oh, let's go. Let's see.
And we now have confirmed the breaking news from the New York Times. Jonathan Dienst, NBC's Jonathan Dienst
Although
in
I
New
don't
York,
like
saying
these
that
news.
federal investigators have executed that search warrant at the apartment owned by the former personal attorney to President Donald Trump, Rudy Giuliani. Part of an investigation into Mr. Giuliani's dealings in Ukraine. Joining me by phone is Michael Schmidt from the New York Times that broke this story. Michael, can you explain where they are on this investigation and how unusual it would be to have a search warrant at the former president's attorney's apartment?
So my colleagues reporting on this today, and a pretty significant development in the investigation. Executing a search warrant is one of the most aggressive steps that prosecutors can take. And it's particularly significant in this case because last year, as this investigation was working its way through, prosecutors wanted to execute a search warrant, but were stopped from doing that by the Trump Bar Justice Department. Now, here we are 8 days after Lisa Monaco has been confirmed as the Deputy Attorney General in the Biden Justice Department. This approval to execute the search warrant has been given. So it shows that that investigation that had began many, almost several years ago at this point, is accelerating, is gaining momentum here after it had been slowed at the end of last year.
And Michael, obviously this is now, they're going to have to own this politically. We can talk about that with others, but the fact is,
exactly,
this
Melinda
is a
Hand.
major escalation because they don't do a search warrant unless they obviously have a grand jury as well.
You need approval from a federal judge to do this. It is seen as incredibly invasive in any investigation. It's seen as particularly invasive with
Good
an
question,
investigation
Ozymandias.
involving
I
a
wondered the
lawyer,
same
as in
thing.
this case, Rudy Giuliani was the president's lawyer, the lawyer to the president of the United States to go in and get this. It's a very adversarial move. It is really, it is literally going into someone's home and taking something that they believe is essential to the investigation and is likely, certainly to have information that is damaging to the person that you're taking it from. And it's a very overt move. It's something that is almost certainly to come out. And here we are learning about it just hours after it happened. It's the kind of thing that creates headlines and it gives a sense of momentum and urgency to an investigation which looks like it had been slowed and stalled at the end of last year.
And of course, they had previously done this to another one of the president's former lawyers, Michael Cohen. What is the relationship that we know of between Giuliani, legal relationship? Is he still a lawyer for Donald Trump, or should we refer to him as the former lawyer for the former president?
So following who the president's lawyers are at any moment is very difficult, or the former president's lawyers are at any moment has been very difficult. He goes through so many different
Sarah
lawyers
Brown.
and went through so many in the different iterations of the federal investigations that he faced and impeachment and such. I think the most recent thing that I had seen on this, and I think that we had heard, was that Giuliani was.
Okay, so here's the question I want to ask you guys. Do you think that this is just another way to distract the people? Because to Sarah's point, I'm not either. I don't really care what happens to any of them. They are doing this as a theater, in my opinion. And I believe that right now there is nothing that they have to talk about because they spent the last several years just trashing one cat. Then when that cat leaves the room, who you got to chat about? You don't have nobody to talk about. So you start devouring one another, or you devour everybody that appeared to stand up for that guy. And the reason why I say appeared, because let me know if I'm wrong. Wasn't there a situation where they said that this guy on the screen, was against the orange guy? At one point, that there was something that he was doing during the time that he was playing the twins to the middle. And that's the reason why I said maybe he was the low-hanging fruit. Because it's easier to get the guy that you see could easily turn on his own. I don't know. It just seems to me that there's some stuff that's going on here. Okay, so Robert Ingram says, Heard there was a R involved in the U at the same time as HB under. You know what? I would not be surprised at all. Not at all. All of this stuff is done as just a way to get everybody's brain off. But like I promised you guys before, we do our news briefs. We talk about the news and we talk about the stuff that's going on in the day, not necessarily taking any sides, because you can see that all of it is a mess. Like I said, the pot, the pie, eating the pie out the windowsill. You know what I mean? It's just, it's all of this stuff that it's like, gee whiz. So we got to talk about some of it, right? Because we live in this world. We do. But I think that this is only going to get, it's only going to get more entertaining. Okay. Before anything else, it's just going to be more entertainment. That's all. As always, Millie said it. As always, that's always the way that it is. It's just, yeah, exactly. Because now they're probably in the kitchen cooking up something, all right, they in the kitchen. Wrist is what is the rap song? In the kitchen, wrist is twisting like it's stir fry. They in the kitchen twisting something up, trying to see what's coming. Just moving the hand like it's stir fry. Moving the hand in the kitchen. In the kitchen, wrist is just twitching like it's stir fry. Just switching the hand around in the pot, trying to figure out what else they can bring up next to distract everybody, and then take more of your civil liberties and tuck them up under their toenails. That's exactly what's going on. So until these P's go to J for the CAH, I won't pay much attention to that nonsense. I know that's right. They want us. Exactly. Now, I did touch a story the other day. Let's go back, because now we've been off of this long enough. I've said what I had to say. You guys know there's a rap song, and the guy, he's saying, in the kitchen, wrist is twisting like it's stir fry. Now, he means something else. All right. He's talking about something else. But what I'm using is that sentence or that line in that song to say they in the kitchen just twisting up stuff, cooking up stuff like it's stir fry, just getting down real fast. When you see somebody making stir fry, or when you do stir fry yourself, you put the egg in there, you do all your stuff, put your rice, you put your egg in, but you got to move it real fast so that the egg moves or becomes more. That's what they're doing with the new stories. It's just in the kitchen, wrist is twisting like it's stir fry. Put that in a web browser and see what song pull up. That's all I'm gonna say. But that's exactly what's going on. All right. So this is why you see what I'm saying? And we gotta keep it all in the right vein. This guy is a part of these people who are talking. They all go to the same parties together. You know what I mean? It's like they all hang out together. They all go to the same parties together. Everybody know everybody. Everybody is they're all buddies. They're all buddies. Everybody, they're all buddies. And now everybody's having a fit about the DMX funeral. They done took the topic off of being DMX and put it on to this situation here with Damon John, and this man right here who shall be nameless. You can't say his name because he's caused a lot of, they say he's caused a lot of confusion and a lot of this and a lot of that. I don't know if you guys can see that, but nonetheless, there's all kinds of distractions, is my point. There are distractions from every side right now. And they don't have anything else to talk about because the orange guy is gone and there's nobody else that they can beat up on. Although he was pretty beat upable because he did do a lot of stuff that he shouldn't have done. And now he won't go away. He's saying a lot of stuff that's just like, are you kidding me right now, man? Are you absolutely joking? He's saying a lot of stuff that that I just think he needs to go and sit down. In the same way I felt about the last person. You know what I mean? It's like, just go away already. These days are nothing like they were. I really honestly feel like we're in a time warp sometimes, or something happened where there's another universe that looks exactly like all of us, and we on another side, and everything is sort of normal. And then somehow all of us ended up on this side of the parallel. We on this side, and we're like, goodness gracious. I remember a day when things were different. You know what I mean? I remember a day when you would have news reporters that just reported the news and didn't get into anything personal. And then we had the Andy Rooneys of our day that would say how they felt. But then it was considered commentary, or it was considered, you know what I'm saying? Or you would go and you'd look in the newspaper and they'd have an essay piece or a commentary piece, and then you would see someone's rebuttal, but it was done in a very respectful manner. You know what I'm saying? It was all done where it was all done respectfully. You know what I'm saying? Now, oh boy, I remember the very first time I ever heard the people in the news having their opinion while reporting the news. I was like, yo, whoa, what? What did they just say? What just happened? You know what I mean? I was like, wait a minute. Did they just say what they thought? And it was just a regular news piece. And I was like, yikes. So Justine DeVoe says, yes, they do. First thing after his election, he went on and on about what great people they were. Exactly. He didn't want to do anything to them, right? He just, oh, they're wonderful folks. That's what's that, like his 13th cousin or something like that? Because they all are related. That's like his 14th, 13th, 12th, 10th cousin. That's his cousin. They're related somehow. Okay, distractions to keep us up. Yep. Yep. And the homeless and the hungry. That's so sad. And I'm like, yikes, we're giving so much money to other places that's, oh, they're just food deprived. I'm like, food deprived? You got people in Arkansas and in Arizona and people out in New Mexico and Alabama and Los Angeles. You got folks everywhere that's hungry. Sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around other people. Other people's front door. Take care of your home base. But I think we're going to see a whole bunch of stuff happening here pretty soon, because I don't believe that, this is of course my opinion, but I don't believe that we've seen the last of what's gone on with those different canals bringing food in and out, bringing export and imports. I believe that there's a lot of stuff that is not being told, and we'll all look up and we'll be paying that $12 a loaf for a loaf of bread here in a minute. We'll be paying that, for television. You're going to go back up to paying $1,600. Remember back in the day when a brand new X, Y, or Z was like the most expensive thing, and then you had to wait. And then once it's worked out all the kinks, you would then get that item for like little or nothing, like a microwave. Microwaves are like, $1,200 or $800 or $500, even $300 or $400. Now I'm sure you can get one now at the same price, but it's got to be like top of the line. Maybe do all kind of stuff, get up, wake you up, make your bed for you, all that. But back in the day, there were times where you would see like a microwave oven or something like that, and it was high. Then once everybody bought it, they worked out all the kinks, it dropped down in price. I think we're about to see that happen with the food. I think the food is going to be off the chain more than it is now, because right now, you can come out of the store after spending $120 with like 2 bags. Real talk. So I think we're going to see a lot more of that. I really do. I think we are. And I think we are going to need people to rescue us. I always say we need an America. We need an America. Yes, we do. We need an America. That's what we need. We need an America to come in and say, hey, you guys, stop treating your people so bad. Hey, you're doing crimes against humanity, and we're going to all come in and we need a coalition to come in here. Yeah, we need an America. We need an America. That's exactly what we need. Melinda M. Burns says, Justine, I remember that. And that was just a slap in the face. Any hopes and trust would be totally destroyed. Let's see. Get flour and make your own flatbread. That's exactly where we're going to be headed in a minute. Just everybody getting flatbread. Yeah. Yes. And can you, and child, let me tell you something. These prices for the groceries right now, we've always heard, oh, the prices are just so high. I know that in the past, like in the 70s, I remember when we had like, my father, 70s, 80s, my dad was working at the like at Rockwell, and I told you guys he's an engineer. But there were times where they would stop a big, gigantic federal project that he may be working on. He worked in the aerospace division. So anyway, if they would stop a project, well, we would cut down on certain things. We were Southerners, so we knew how to cut down on like meat. So we would have meat, but it would not be like meat. like a bunch of meat. We ate more vegetables. My mother, being Southern, we had a lot of beans. We had a lot of salads. We had a lot of soups. We had a lot of that stuff, but we were okay. We learned how to deal with it. The unfortunate piece right now is that everybody cooks either in a microwave, they cook really fast, or they're not cooking at all, and they're all going out to eat. And that's unhealthy in and of itself. So now you got all these people who don't know how to cook. And now they're going to have to get to the point where they have to go out and buy food, but they don't know what to buy. Everything comes home in a box. Even if you go to the grocery store, you know what I'm saying? It all comes home in a box. It's going to be mayhem. And a lot of folks are not going to know how to handle it, which is the reason why you really do have to protect your house, because you don't know what your neighbor know. You don't know what your neighbor don't know how to do. And it's just going to be a mess. It really is. So Sarah Brown says, and all the dollars they just create out of thin air. Yeah, poof. Every dollar they create, poof, steals purchasing power from every other dollar in existence. Poof, inflation. I added the poofs to that, Sarah, because it was a good one. Melinda Ann, thumbs up. Ozamala says, grow your own, make your own. And that's what they don't want. Whoo. Oh, but didn't those people that you mentioned right there, didn't they quail that event that they were saying was going on all over the world? They knocked that out the box, didn't they? Follow me on that one, Ozamalis, didn't they? They didn't let that affect their community for too long. They got that out and did it, didn't they? They got that under control. They were like, well, they've got theirs under control. They got herd. They got that herd going on there, if you know what I'm trying to say. Old Head Deuce, Justine, yes. Millie J says, that's good eating, sister. Yes, it is. Okay, I came out of Dollar General with more than 2 bags of groceries and I spent $155. Lots of rice and beans and sweet cornbread. That's right. That's what you got to do. And if you can, go buy the corn meal, and you have to get your eggs and you get your little thing of, the Clabber Girl baking soda, baking powder, I should say, Clabber Girl baking powder. Make your own, especially if you're like me and you got a lot of those pots that we were talking about earlier. Get some of that, stick you a little bit of oil in there and put that in there and make you some hot water cornbread. But either way it goes, get into getting down with it. And for the gals that don't know how to make a pot of beans, I'll give you a real quick tip. And even the guys that are listening, if you want to know how to make a bag of beans, you can pick them. You'll put them in a strainer, put them in a bowl, and then you'll pick them. Make sure you pull out all the rocks. Then you're going to wash them really well. After you wash them really well, you can put them in a bowl of cold water and cover up that bowl overnight. Okay? If some people say they just take too long to cook, put them in that bowl overnight and let them soak. The next morning, you can put your turkey or whatever it is that you use to season your beans and greens or whatever. I use smoked turkey. Put that in there with all of your chopped minced vegetables, your onion, your garlic, your bell pepper, your celery. Put all the turkey meat, put all of that in there and let it just boil real fast. Once it gets up to a good boil, turn that pot off, pour your beans in there and let them sit. About maybe 30 minutes. Then turn them all on middle low and get down with the get down. Because at that point, you got some good eating that doesn't take that long if you do it and plan it right. So that was a free tip. Hey. That was a free tip. Melinda, yep. Love beans and cornbread. Yes. And green onions. Yes. So what is this? Beans and greens are the bomb. Beans, greens, tomatoes. I forgot who was that. You name it. Yeah, they survived the Depression and flourished. Yeah, because you got to know what you're doing. Biscuits to go. Biscuits go with just about anything, and they're cheap and easy to make. Yes, they are, R. Jones. Yes, they are. Yes, very inexpensive. You can do a lot with a little bit of flour and all the stuff you need and some cold water, can't you? To roll those biscuits out. Yes. Yep. Wash them and soak them. Pick them. Get all the rocks out. If you're getting real ones, if you're getting real beans, I'm not sure what they got going on, but you can get yourself some real good beans. Just wash them. Pick them. Make sure you put them in there and pull all the rocks out and scrub them up real good. I make yeast rolls. Yeast is getting hard to find. My grocery has been out for 2 months. My husband drove an hour to another to get some for me. Wow. My beans always sprout. Greens with my beans. You can also get some good okay, cooking with Felicia. Love it. Y'all don't want me to get on here and start cooking. My grandson says that, "Grandmother, why don't you take your camera and put it in the kitchen?" I said, "Boy, bye." No, sir. It's nothing like it used to be. Well, Awesome Alice says, "Ain't nothing like biscuits and gravy." Oh my goodness. You know what I'm saying? Just the good food. I see we all gonna be all right. Ain't nothing gonna be wrong here. We all gonna be all right. But it's been good talking with you guys for the last hour. I just thought I'd come on here. I'm not going to do any lives today. I'm going to rest a little bit. I'm just going to chill a little bit unless something else happened. Okay. Because, I canceled the other one that we were supposed to be doing today at 3. But unless something else happened, yeah. If something else happened, then I'm going to be up here chit-chatting, talking to all y'all. But before we go, let's see if there's anything else that's new that we can talk about. Let's see. I'm over here checking. Oh, okay. Let's see what my sister got going on here. We're going to see what she got going on.
BioNTech, developer of the first widely approved.
All right,
Europe can achieve herd immunity against the virus within 3 to 4 months. The head of German pharmaceutical company BioNTech, developer of the first widely approved inoculation with U.S. partner Pfizer, said Wednesday. While the exact threshold required to reach that critical level of immunization remains a matter of debate, experts say a level above 70% would significantly disrupt transmission within a population. Quote, Europe will reach herd immunity in July, latest by August, close quote. Ugur Sahin, BioNTech's chief executive, told reporters. BioNTech's jab makes up a large share of the doses administered in North America, where it's more commonly known as the Pfizer jab, and Europe, where inoculation rates have risen after a sluggish start. Sahin said data from people that have received the jab show that the immune response gets weaker over time, and a third dose will likely be required. Studies show the efficacy of the BioNTech Pfizer jab declines from 95% to about 91% after 6 months, he said. Accordingly, we need a third jab to get the protection back up to almost 100%, Sahin said. Vaccine recipients currently receive a second dose 3 weeks after the first, although some countries have longer intervals. Sahin suggested the third should be administered 9 to 12 months after the first jab. Quote, and then I expect it will probably be necessary to get another booster every year or perhaps every 18 months. Close quote, he said. BioNTech has tested its jab against more than 30 variants, including the now dominant one first detected in Britain, and found that the jab triggers a good immune response against almost all of them in the lab. In cases where the immune response was weaker, it remained sufficient, he said, without providing exact figures. Asked about the new variant, first detected in India, Sahin said that the vaccine's effectiveness against it was still being investigated. Quote, but the Indian variant has mutations that we have previously investigated and against which our vaccine also works, so I'm confident there too. Close quote. The company is investigating reports of heart inflammation cases in people that received the BioNTech jab in Israel, but so far it hasn't seen any data that would indicate a heightened risk. Some 5 million people in Israel have been inoculated primarily with the BioNTech Pfizer jab, giving Israel one of the highest coverages in the world. Quote, we take everything we hear very seriously. The most important principle in drug development is to do no harm. Close quote, he said. BioNTech expects to receive approval in July for its vaccine to be used in China, where it cooperates with local firm Fosun Pharma. Sahin told members of Germany's Foreign Press Association that it was a very nice feeling to be hearing about more and more people that are finally able to see loved ones again after being inoculated with his company's jab. Sahin also said that he expects a new normal soon, where one can move about freely and most people have a very good immune protection against the virus. Even so, some people would either not want to be inoculated or have a weak immune system. And we have to consider these people too, he said. This is Nancy Morgan-Hart for Headlines with a Voice.
Wow. Well. I won't even have any words for that. I'll just leave that for you guys. But I had to play my good friend's info there just to see. Now, somebody asked a question about a good recipe. We're not even gonna talk about it, y'all. We're just gonna leave that right there because that's a mess. Yeah, that's a mess. So let me give you the answer to how to do some good lentils. Okay, just few little tips. So here's a 35, and I'm going to give you this link so that you have it because you said you have about 12 pounds, Melinda Ann. Let me give you a quick link down here. You guys can make it. Yeah, we just go. Yeah, y'all just tuck that. That's wow. That's a hot. Okay, so 35 best lentil soup recipes that are perfect hearty bowls for chilly nights. I just gave you the link there. So here goes some nice recipes to make different deliciousness. I love lentils. I love split peas. So there's some good stuff there. Yeah, look at that. That looks so good. Oh, that's Coco Vaughn. Vegetarian Chilean grains. So that link right there should help you with getting some ideas on what to do with all of those lentils. That sounds like a blessing. That big old 12 pounds. And it's just you and a couple of other folks. Yeah, they're not, are they? Let's go ahead. She uses garlic and greens a lot, and salt and pepper in both. Very good. That sounds delish. I'm getting one, not one. Okay, I refuse anyone. Absolutely. Okay, and there's the link. Yes, country living recipes are good. Oh, you're going to make such good stuff. Guys, snatch that up too, because if you're a guy and you want to surprise your wife or your girlfriend or your family with your ability to cook, get some recipes, get some good recipe books. You know, they don't, back in my day, they used to have the recipe books, the Betty Crocker recipe books. And my mama, my stepmama, she has, she had until the flood hit in a few years back there in Louisiana, Baton Rouge. She had a whole boatload of books that she had for years. And then she got to the point where she, of course, never even needed them. But if there was something that she really wanted to make that, you know, maybe she hadn't made in a while, she would consult those books. And all that good stuff. But yeah, but back in my day, we used to use the cookbooks. And then we used to have remember when we had the little book, it was like a little box and you would just thumb through. This was their answer to the big book. Remember, the answer to the big cookbook was a little bitty box that had a little file, and you would have for like beef stroganoff, you'd go to the B. For something really out there, you know, you would go to that letter and you'd pull up and you could just make yourself really, really look famous. You still have your grandmother's binder ones. Oh, awesome. Alice, how lucky are you? You know, we would do stuff with the food. Look, you guys, there's 1,000 ways. Let's talk about this really quickly. There's a bunch of ways that you can take a turkey and roast it. And after you roast it, say, for example, it's not for any of the holidays that you normally would use them for. You just got a turkey, which is sort of hard to get now. But anyway, get a turkey and you can make it for that first meal. But How many of you take that turkey and slice it in half or cut it down the middle and then freeze the rest? Well, you can make yourself some delicious turkey pot pie. You can make your homemade pie shell, pie crust. And this is on a Feds Execute a Warrant video. We're going to have to change the name of this video, y'all. We're going to have to edit the name of this video. But in any case, yeah, you would take that and you can put all the good stuff, all the fixings that you would put inside of that pie shell. You can put yourself a little bit of cornstarch, fix that together, fashion that together, and make a nice pot pie with it. My point, there are a lot of things that you can do that can stretch a meal. How about that? Sarah Brown says, when I got married, my aunt gave me a cookbook called How to Boil Water. That is hilarious. But the creepy part is some people can't boil eggs. Let me stop laughing. Some people can. I have seen people burn eggs, and I just sit there like, yo, really? You burn the egg? Let's just start this again. It only takes a few minutes to boil one. Okay. We don't want to burn any boiled eggs. Well, y'all, thank y'all for just hanging out. I really appreciate you guys. Again, there will not be a 3:00 show today, unless, of course, something happens and we just got to talk about it. But I think we had a pretty good live last night. Again, it's in the members tab now. And a few other videos are over there. Anything that I used to create with that Microsoft thing I was telling you guys about, the ones that waited till you upload your creation and then take the entire monetization for your video. They took the entire monetization. They didn't just take the monetization for the couple of minutes that I played that song that they gave me in the computer. They took all the monetization for that video. So it's in the members area. Gave it to the members. So that it wouldn't be for public consumption, but it is for the members. So y'all can find that, as well as a few others that's over there now. Y'all can go on over there and see it. It's in the community tab. Everything for members is in the community tab. That's my grandson having a good time, which I wish he wouldn't. But he's having fun. Yeah, they have a good one. Okay. All right. My aunt called the little recipe box her Make a Man Love You box. Yes, ma'am. There's only a few things you got to do, sisters, to keep a man at the house. I mean, you know, he might stray anyway, because a whole lot of men folk do cheat. I know a lot of people say, oh, no, baby, all men will cheat. If they ain't cheating now, they cheated once before. But what you can do to make sure that is right is throw down in the kitchen and a couple of other places in the house, and you're good to go. All right, folks, with that said, I appreciate each and every one of you for being with me today. Let's read Millie J. O'Neill's last comment here is, this is true. My old neighbor earned a 6-figure salary, but she didn't know how to boil an egg. I believe that. And those women actually think that the money is going to make the cat stay around. You know what I'm saying? If you consider how many women there are on the planet. Hey, afternoon, Anthony. Consider how many women there are on the planet. Consider how many men there are on the planet. Consider how many men are interested in women on the planet. And then you divide them out, pull them out. Then you got to take out the guys who are put away for a minute. And then this is across the board. They try to make this a color thing, but it's not. We're talking about just people as a whole. Once you start dividing and parceling out, you see that there's a whole lot more sisters than there are brothers. So that means somebody out there sharing somebody. Somebody, not all, but somebody sharing somebody. And if that's the case, then soul sister, you better learn how to get down in that kitchen, because getting down in the other part of the house may not keep them, but I guarantee you can get down in that kitchen. Getting down in the other part of the house is just an added bonus. Yes, that's all we're going to say. All right, you guys, y'all take care. Anthony Van Zandt says, afternoon, men don't cheat, just little boys stray. Yeah. Okay, I think that, this is the topic we're gonna have to table. I mean, because we could go in. You guys want to have this conversation? We could do it. Not now, but we could definitely do it. Let me know what you think. Y'all want to talk about relationships? Do people cheat? Yes, they do. Do women cheat? Yes, they do. Women cheat worse than men cheat. Yes, they do. Women cheat worse than men cheat. And Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Good afternoon, good sister friend, and all the TLP community, family, crew. Hey. All right, y'all. Y'all take care, and I will talk to you soon. This is a news brief, and this is a very long news brief, so it's not a brief, it's a newsy show. How about that? It was the news for the day. Y'all take care. We'll talk real soon, okay? All right. To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping